We have Izaw here. I'm sure you guys know Izaw. He does the art of videos, which are phenomenal, by the way. If you've never seen any of them, highly recommend watching them. They will absolutely help you learn your character. And he has a very interesting opinion on a DLC character that we're going to talk about. So, in one of your videos, you said that you think Steve is one of the worst characters in the game. And I want to know, do you still believe that?
I wouldn't say one of the worst. I still doubt him though. I started questioning things as soon as I started seeing him play online, and I started going, okay, so I didn't really consider that even though I was talking about top level play, a lot of top players need to like sit there and grind out the Steve matchup, kind of like how you have to grind out the Pac-Man matchup and realize like each setup, each little thing to look out for, each little, okay, what's the solution against this? What cover, like, okay, this covers the 4 out of 5 things. I can only press this here, or I can't give him time to set this up, and so on. People still need like a lot of time investment to know how to play that character. But then I watched at the same time Cola and Ned play against Jake, and there were moments where I was just like, this just looks identical to what I pictured it to be. Like, Cloud is just gonna dash away, land bear, land fair, dash away, land bear, land fair, and like consistently put on pressure on Steve, and Steve is going to basically get overwhelmed in mid stage, run into the corner, set up blocks, mine, jump side B into the with cart, and then eventually they will like jump around it, he'll corner himself again, and he'll get hit for side Bing, and so on. So like eventually I was like, what Cola and Ned was doing against Steve was what I basically thought was gonna happen. They just performed it faster than anyone else so far. Like, they treated Steve the way I expected people to treat Steve. Because Steve is so annoying to play against, I think a lot of people, and especially online too, I think a lot of people are just like, I don't want to deal with this, nor do I want to like sit down and learn the matchup, because I'm bored playing against this. But seeing Cola doing it, I was just like, this is perfect. Like, the Steve didn't get to play his top level Steve because he was just overwhelmed running to the corner and getting side beat and punished, and like it was just it was brutal to watch, and it looked almost like the Steve that I put in my video, on the Steve opinion video, but where people are like, this is not high level Steve. The Steve is not putting on blocks and pressing options. But it was the same thing for the Steve dealing with Cola and Ned. Like, they couldn't really do much. This doesn't mean that I think the character is one of the worst still because of it, but I still think the character will suffer at the end of it.
Okay, so basically what I'm gathering is you just think that Steve is incredibly overrated, and that do you feel like Steve is going to be one of the hardest matchups to learn?
It might be, yeah, because it's a combination of, you gotta first of all understand how to play Smash well, like the 3 kind of like styles of Smash, which is good pressure, bait and punish, rush down slash call out kind of a play style. And Steve plays on bait and punish, so that means you don't have to call him out, not so much at least, unless he jumps or if he mine carts, but you can kind of just play a pressure heavy game until he needs to like initiate something, and his initiation would be dash attack or side B, because anything else would be kind of too low range. And because of his actual bottom 7 base stats, the character is just kind of sluggish at the end if you just know how to deal with everything else that he knows like how to do. So you just, yeah, like once you know how to learn the matchups, which is kind of rough, it kind of starts becoming easier and easier, because at the end of the day you're still dealing with this top or like bottom 7 base stats character.
Okay,
kind of like how you addressed with Incineroar, in that he's got amazing options close range. The hard part is getting there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just that Incineroar doesn't have tricks and gimmicks and all these things that you have to learn as much, at least.
So do you feel like Steve's biggest flaw is just his inability to get in and approach? And so if he fights someone who's doing that for him, he just becomes a lot better?
I mean, Steve's strength is punishing people for approaching him a little too obviously, baiting and punishing, basically. People rushing in against, oh, there's blocks in front of me and he's mining, oh, he's getting diamond, rush in, and then he's like, okay, so this is a rushed player, he's gonna rush in with an obvious this move or an obvious jump in, and then Steve takes advantage, hard punish, and pretty rough that way. But if you play the way Cola played, for example, of just stand at burst range, jump in with a landed back air, space it perfectly, move away from it, jump away from him consistently until Steve like drains himself with the way he needs to approach with side Bs and perfect shielding, kind of like how Luigi plays, I think eventually it'll hurt him. Kind of like, I mean, this is the same thing with elegance, right? Like, you watch Luigi's And you see Elegant do well, like placing top 2 at one huge event. People don't go, oh, Luigi's crazy, he has to be top tier because of this, or he has to be high tier because of it. You still recognize that the character at the end of the day is super limited in the playstyle, and there's only like a few things that you have to do, and you got to do them perfectly at the end of the day, at least. That's the way I see it, at least with Steve so far.
Okay. Has your opinion of Steve changed at all? Do you still
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do think he has like top level gimmicks. They're insane. Some of them are just like, yikes. If he sets this up, it's kind of rough. I think he is a little better than I thought initially, a little better, but I still would put him below at least half of the cast in this game in terms of for top level play. At high level, I think Steve will probably rise to high or top because players still struggle to approach. Like as high level as you think you'd be, from my experience, coaching players who are high level, a lot of people still suck at approaching. They suck at pressuring. They don't space as well as you'd think. They don't land their aerials as well as you'd think. They don't dash away after a landed aerial and know how to bait and punish and react to jumps and like corner pressure well and hold stage well as much as a top level player. But top level player, they've mastered this, and I think that's Steve's like worst position. That in itself kind of sucks, but he can still do well. Like I said, a lot of, let's say, the characters that are worse than half of the cast are still like super capable. You can still see them do well in top 8s. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Steve's consistently at top 8s even early on, because the character requires, like I said, a lot of matchup experience, and a lot of people don't want to get that experience because they don't like playing against Steve. A lot of players dislike the Steve matchups that are like, yeah, I don't really want to do it. But if you need, like, if you had someone that sat down and kept going for it, then eventually I think you'll realize Steve is not really, like, I personally wouldn't put him at a high tier. Mid tier is, like, for me, possibility, but lower than mid tier at least.
That is good to hear that, like, your opinion of Steve has like improved a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I might be completely wrong. That's the thing, and I'm completely fine with being completely wrong too. So like, if I'm 100% wrong, shit, man, I was wrong, and I don't really mind being wrong. But this is just how it's just an early thought, you know. This early thought was never meant to be something that people agreed nor disagreed with. It was just something that I wanted to express through a video, and that's it.
I respect you for doing it, because it's funny because you went about it in a civil way, but then I feel like some people just, like, they got so offended. They were like, you're crazy.
I found that funny.
Like, how dare you? Yeah, I was like, wow. I mean, like, I'll say it, I disagree with you, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I hate you, Izaw, you're an idiot or something like that, you know? Right. It's just like, okay.
You wouldn't argue.
Yeah. I mean, I can see your points. That's it. Like, I do think that you're making valid reasons for, like, what you think.
You see an opinion and you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand why people got aggressive about it, and I expected it. I don't know why it got aggressive. If anything, I want to say that it's put Steve on a bigger highlight. Now people are more like, oh, is it true? Is he bad? Is he not? It's more interesting to see when Steve wins. People go, oh, there is a little bit of spice to it. So like, you're welcome. I didn't mean to do it, but like, I find it more interesting now to watch Steve. You know, if that video never came out, people would just be hating on Steve, and it would just be like the way Sonic is treated right now online. It would just be hate, rather than this question of, oh, can he actually do it? Is he a good character? Can we see it? And I at least find that more interesting now.
Okay, well, that's cool to hear. Okay, so let's get away from Steve and let's talk about something else. You mentioned, like, coaching people and stuff like that, and you actually promote coaching quite a bit, and have even said that you've coached some people who are now top level players. Would you be willing to say who those people are, if you can? If not, I totally understand.
Yeah, I can say the recent ones. Nowadays, I'm coaching Yez, I'm coaching Raven King, I'm coaching someone called No Tag. I think he's like a really good Mario player from Pape's region.
MDVA, I think?
Yeah, MDVA, exactly.
Yeah.
I did Mr. E for 1 or 2, and he started learning a little bit more about the simplicity of like corner pressure with landing your aerial and dash away, because he didn't consider dash away. He would always like hit an aerial and roll away, and I was like, bro, please start doing a landed aerial to a dash away, and also start calling out anti-airs, which is like the most common thing. I want to say those are like the most notable ones, I think.
Okay.
I want to say the biggest thing though is there are players that would consistently place 0-2 or 2-2 or 1-2 and just do like pretty meh in locals. And I think there are like at least 20 or 30 different students now that are at least top 8ing in their locals.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Or even top 3ing. So I think that's more of an accomplishment that I have, or that's like that's something that I see happening more now than top level players. Top level players tend to stick with themselves, and they trust in that they can kind of figure things out on their own. I had Zenyu do a VOD review with me on the Ken matchup, and I gave him some advice, but you know, he still was, you know, it's still Zenyu. Like, he still has this
Yeah.
this pride of, I can do this myself. Like, I'll take your help, but I can still do this myself. So that's usually how top players are. Although I would love to coach more top level players, and I'm sure like eventually I will be, as soon as like offline comes back a bit more and there's VODs to look at.
Okay, cool. What do you think is the thing that most people you coach have an issue learning, or what's like the first thing that you've had to teach most people?
Anti-airing. As
Anti-airing?
silly as it is, I don't know if you remember Smash 4, but there was very little anti-air focus, mostly because if somebody short hopped or full hopped and tried landing their aerials, in Smash 4, your strategy mostly, at least at the end of the day, was run in and shield dash, get under, block punish, because jumping in and trying to punish them in the air was committal, even though it was a thing. And then now, in Ultimate, people are still trying to do that, so this is why I pick Ike, and it's as silly as, I'm going to full hop Nair and see if he can beat my full hop. 9 out of 10 students, even high or top level players, struggle with anti-airing. Like, they struggle with full hop callouts or short hop callouts. They basically are just trying to land their aerials and whiff punish me as a priority. And me teaching them the simplicity of like, no, pressure me more so that you can't get punished for hitting a shield. And then eventually people will just have to simply jump out of shield against you to pressure you back. And then you call them out on that jump is something you want to do a lot more in Smash. That boosts them up to a whole new level, which is kind of absurd to me, because to me, anti-airing is so natural. You know, just as much as you would react to a shield and try to grab it, you would try to react to a jump and try to anti-air it. It's not really in their system sometimes.
You know, that honestly makes sense to me, just because I feel like Ultimate is such a different game regarding jumping because of the universal 3-frame jump squat. So a lot of people just probably aren't used to that or even think about doing that.
It's not just the universal like frame jump. It's the fact that you get elevated upwards faster. Like frame 4 is the only short hop frame you have, and then frame 5 you're at the full hop. Landing aerials are safer against shield. Shield grabs are nerfed. Like, a lot of characters just have more landing aerials that are safer to begin with, so it's just like a better focus. And the thing about full hop that no one realizes so far is that when you full hop, sure, it's like, it's slow-ish, you can see the full hop happen compared to short hop, but if you're not going to call it out, then you're still going to be avoiding any shield pressure. So like blocking and grabbing, blocking using nair, short hop aerials you'll be jumping over, tilts and grabs you'll be jumping over, and you are forcing sometimes a commitment for them to punish a full hop. Like, you're forcing them to full hop anti-air you, and if they don't, you can pick something as easy as Cloud and just full hop fair consistently and outspace them, and that shouldn't work. Like, there should be a call out, and it's silly because some characters play on anti-air, like Palutena and Bayo play purely on get the anti-air, you know. So I don't know how people didn't really catch on to it, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. Another question about coaching. Who is like the most frustrating person you've coached, and why exactly was that the reason?
Yez, because
you actually said their name.
no, he knows too.
Okay.
Yez, because there are two things that Yez does that I'm like, ever since, because Yez has done a ton of sessions with me, and he's become so freaking good at this game that like I'm personally kind of scared of him now. Yez started with the whole thing too, where he couldn't anti-air me, so I picked Ike against his Ike and I played full hop Nair and I won, and he was like, why did I lose that? I'm better than you with Ike. And I said, it's because you're not anti-airing. So like, he got through that whole thing. He got better at many different aspects of the game, but still has two habits that he does that just don't go away. And it's, he runs to the corner and he shields for like a second, 2 seconds, and that's it. That's his neutral sometimes. And I'm like, please don't do that anymore, because every time you've gotten hit, you die because you panic and freak out. I just keep seeing him throw away stocks like that, and I'm like, dude, just don't run into the corner and just play neutral from there so much. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's been any frustrating students. Like, I seem to have a lot of patience with people that struggle to learn to do something.
Okay. That's cool. Also, you kind of just gave away the secret to beating Ez, so shame on you, I guess.
I mean, listen, man, if you can beat it out of him, I'll be proud at least.
Okay. So, you main Link, and you also use Ike, and I feel like there's another character you
Ike
use.
is my teaching character. I mean, I could probably be competitive with him, but I haven't tried, nor do I want to. I don't think offline that's too great of a character. It's decent, but I think I want to go with something like Link and Pythra, or Link and Mario as like a co-main.
Okay. About Link, do you personally think that Link is the best of the three Links? And if not, who do you think is the best one and why?
I do think Link is the best Link of the three. And no bias or anything, I tried playing all of the three. I actually started off with Young Link going, oh my god, this is just a way better Smash 4 Link. And then I went back to normal Link and I'm like, this is a Wolf Nair. Much simpler combos, almost the same damage output, better recovery with the bomb, just like forward air kills at 80 just because you hit it at ledge and you called out a jump, for example. The bomb ledge trap is absurd. It's like Smash 4 Diddy level of absurd, if not better. Like overall, I just think he has a lot of smaller things that just add up to him being the better Link by a little bit. And then I would probably do Young Link and then Toon Link.
Do you think that his meta is underdeveloped, or do you think that he's like near the peak of where he would be with like all of his tech and stuff?
Hard to say. I kind of want to say it's less about the meta. Like we know where I think most Links that are really good know where we want to take the Link and what he needs to be doing. So it's almost there. It's not really there. I think it's more a question of the Link player itself, like can perform and execute, because at the end of the day, like it's the results at top level that matter. And it's not just about character optimization. It's a lot about composure and mentality. And it still comes down to like, is there any Link player who has it and can bring it? Because if there is, I think the character will be pretty present in the meta if you just have like really good Link representatives. Because I personally believe in the character, otherwise I wouldn't main him. I think he's at least somewhere around top 15, maybe top 20 at the moment, and I think he can get a little bit better from the way I've experienced him, at least so far. I might be overrating him too, who knows? But I do think there's a lot of underutilized stuff even for me that I'm not doing yet, which is really hard stuff to do, but it's not too hard to a point where it's unrealistic, at least.
The stuff that you're not utilizing, what would those be? Like what's the stuff that you're not using with them just yet?
I want to say a lot of Z-drop with bombs, a lot of setups with the bomb ledge trapping, and basically killing them off with like Nair into Z-drop the bomb into a fair one, into a loop, into an up B, like around mid percents to high percents, and just like optimizing that and getting more comfortable with that without like forcing it too much, and also not having the basics carry you at the same time. I've been focusing more on like still mastering basics and like, you know, leveling myself up instead of like not having good fundies and then trying to be carried by tech. But I am in that place now where I do have to get back into tech, start mastering it a little bit.
I love you said that, because I'm the same way. I don't like to just, you know, I want to get the basics down first, and then as I go, you know, I learn the more complicated stuff. I think that's the way you should do it. I feel like going about it that way, it's much harder to have more, or it's much more difficult to develop like horrible habits or flaws in your gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. That was my struggle in Smash 4, was that I actually was focusing on Smash 4 tech first with Link. I was like, okay, what can Link do specifically that I need to master? What's Link specific here that's really good that I want to do? These like Dakis cancels into what, and eventually I was like, I think I just gotta pick up Ike or Lucina and just learn how to play the game really well, so I understand like what's the priority in a lot of situations. And that's how I started Ultimate, and I think I'm on a way better path now than in any other Smash game.
It's good to hear. What's your plan for, I guess, competitive Smash? Like, do you plan on competing? Do you just want to focus on content creation and coaching?
All of it, actually. I do want to do some competing. I want to give it an actual bit more of a serious try. I still haven't done the serious, like, ultimate competitive attempt. I've done it for like a month, maybe. I went to Montreal for a month, and I thought it went pretty well for the first time, like being competitive in Ultimate. I placed top 3 in each local, or at least like I won 1 or 2. After that, I wanted to do more. I did 1 tournament in Europe, and I got top 17, I think, which was decent. I still had like less experience with the game than I wanted to in terms of matchups and knowledge. And I think now, like before quarantine started, I was already like settling on moving to Arizona Arizona and moving to LA and trying things out there, just seeing how it goes and doing my best. But I think now after quarantine, I'm a little bit more set on going to Canada again, Montreal or Ottawa, and just the East Coast in general, and competing there. So I'll probably be in New York at the end of this year, sometime, somewhere, we'll see, and compete and do my best, basically. I'll try for sure. I want to say, like, I have a bit more of a priority / care on coaching and content creation more than anything, but I still have a slight desire to try to compete and do well and do top 8s at least.
That's good to hear. I'm also glad to hear that you're gonna continue the content creation, because again, your art ofs are just so well made. Question about that: how long does one normally take you to make?
It really depends on the character. Falco, I wasn't too familiar with. Falco felt kind of alien to me because I would see the combos, but I didn't know how to play neutral. And I didn't know exactly the combos, so I had to find out about his advantage state first and realize, okay, that's his combo game. So this is how he plays neutral, I guess. And then I had a couple of people explain it to me and so on. So that took, I want to say the Art of Falco took about a month of like work, maybe 3-4 hours per day to get it perfectly, at least the way I wanted to. But then I did Palutena, for example, and that took me 3 days. This is Palutena.
Yeah, okay.
So it's anything, it can be anything from, I guess, 3 days to a whole month, maybe a little longer sometimes.
All right, damn. I was not expecting that big of a difference between Paolo and Falco. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Which art of video would you say is your favorite one that you've made in any game? So Ultimate, Smash 4, which one would you say is your favorite one?
Right now, probably Falco. I think it's gangsta shit. I think it's really like, it just flows well. It's clean in terms of pacing. It got really cool clips. Fox is a favorite as well because of how like it's on crack in terms of speed and information, but it's still not, you don't get lost. But those are my 2 favorite ones so far. It usually is like each video that I do becomes a new favorite. Unfortunately, the Palutena one didn't become a new favorite. It's still not out. It's new, but it didn't become like, oh, I still think Falco and Fox have like a better art of, for example. There have been some funny ones, at least like the less educational, more focused on being funny, like the Art of King DDD for Smash 4 or the Art of Plant. That was just fun to make. It's just something that I watch because I'm like, it's just a good time. I
definitely will say I liked the Art of Falco one. That one I think was really, really good. You explained everything really well. You also didn't mention the Falco agenda, so that's cool.
Right.
So you're planning on moving to Canada is what you said, right?
Yeah.
I guess how often do you think you're gonna be attending events in New York and just in general?
I think it's like 7 hours away drive-wise, maybe 2-3 hours away with flight. So hopefully once every 3rd month at least, like minimum, if not more. And because I'll be in Montreal or Ottawa, I'm pretty sure there's like a lot of locals, a lot of monthlies, and people from there want to drive down to New York and play. So hopefully like each month at least once. That would be dope.
Okay, nice. I think that's it. I think I don't have anything else to ask you unless you want to add something.
I guess the only thing that's about to be new is that I have like 2 editors now who help me out with my channel, and I've been trying to collect videos now for at least a month and a half, maybe almost 2 months. So I have like 50 to 60 videos ready, uploaded but not public.
Jesus.
And yeah, and it's anything from like stream highlights to educational stuff to like a lesson session video to me uploading a new series. I have like 2-3 new series incoming. One is going to be like a mini art of, one is going to be a how to beat series, and then another one is going to be just like me focusing on a specific topic like shield pressure or anti-air and how it works in Smash as a whole, and then like do like lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and keep like stepping up to higher levels, which applies more so for high and top rather than low and mid. So I'm focusing more around that. This also gives me more time to competing and stuff. There's still content on my channel while I'm traveling after quarantine and while I'm in Canada settling down, and I actually took inspiration from you because I started watching your videos and I'm like, this is kind of chill to watch and it's kind of fun to watch like these highlights and daily videos.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Well, be on the lookout for all that content. Christ, that is a lot to have. But I mean, it makes sense since you're moving and stuff. You want to have something just steady while you're not going to be able to consistently do content.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you for having me, my dude.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. I enjoyed talking to you. Well, yeah, once again, thank you. I appreciate it. And
yeah, no problem, dude.
Yeah, I'll see you around.